And we're back with Lobby Concessionals, the movie podcast where nobody's right and everybody's wrong. That's Brendon and I'm Parker. Like and subscribe on our YouTube, on our Spotify, on Amazon Podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, and any other podcast partner. Yeah. And follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, whatever.
Oh, so many things.
Oh, so many things.
Every episode. I know we do it every episode, and I always get taken aback by the list.
Oh, it's just God, the list drives me nuts, man. It's too many. So, Brendon, you've got a new segment for us that I think we should call "That's So Wizard, Annie." Now that there's 0% chance that's the name that we use, but anyway, you want to introduce
it's
it?
It's gonna be hard to not to now. I was tired of getting bamboozled with these bad Reddit takes.
Okay, fair enough.
So I thought I was going through my stuff at home, and I found a collection of my old Wizard magazines.
Okay.
And for people who don't know, this was the only comic book magazine. I mean, at least mainstream comic book magazine that was out in the 90s. And they're horrendous in terms of just 90s schlock, and
totally.
And you can flip through them, and you can just kind of cringe.
Yeah.
At all of it.
Yeah.
Really.
The art direction is incredible.
But they hold a near and dear place to my heart. It was part of my teenage comic collecting life, and I don't think I'll ever be able to get rid of them. But I was going through a couple of these.
Okay.
And they do a segment or a piece in here, and it's called Casting Call.
Okay.
Where they would cast movies, and most commonly superhero movies.
So are these like theoretical, or have the
theoretical.
Movies so completely theoretical?
Completely theoretical.
So it's not like a movie has been optioned at this point, and then they decide,
nope.
Oh well, let's just do it.
Nope.
So like, literally, no one has made any progress on a film for this thing,
or it's a film that already exists and they're recasting it.
Oh, okay.
Which is today's case.
Oh, okay.
So what I thought we might do is have a little bit of fun, where I'll surprise you with a random movie and their cast, and you can react to them. And I don't know if you want to recast them. I don't know what you want to do.
I have historically been terrible at recasting, so we can see. But I will do my best. So for context, though, what issue of Wizard is this, and when does this come out?
This is a Wizard number 74.
Okay.
And I'm glad you asked. This is from October 1997.
Okay.
So, two things here. Obviously, we have to remember that it's 1997. So the names that are going to come up we have to remember those actors of that time.
Sure.
Which you'll find very, very quickly the problem.
Okay.
And the other thing is they're gonna throw out a lot of weird 90s specific actors, and I've tried my best to not overload you with that.
Okay.
Because nobody knows that other dude from Melrose Place.
Okay.
That's not just gonna happen.
Sure.
So I've tried.
What's
to find...
Melrose Place?
You're better off. So So I went out of my way to find a movie that you'll be emotionally invested in.
Okay.
With a slew of actors that you'll know.
Okay. I appreciate it. So for the record, though, if I do end up recasting anything here, I'm not going to stick to 1997.
No.
So
you can absolutely, or you could do both. Like you could look.
Well,
at
and
it
I might end up doing both. I just mean I don't know if the timelines will work out in my brain without prep.
So I'll fry your brain out of the get-go.
Okay.
So we're gonna recast the Batman franchise.
Oh boy!
As of 1997.
Okay, the whole franchise?
Yeah,
not just an individual
not even
film.
just a movie at this point. We're gonna do the whole thing.
Okay. So what have we had by 97?
97 will have been Batman and Robin. So we've had the four. We'll have the big four. The two Burtons, and then the Batman Forever, and then Batman and Robin.
Okay. And then the Adam West TV show, but we won't touch that.
So
sure.
we are 8 years removed from Batman Begins.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Okay.
So we're gonna swing heavy out of the gate.
Okay. Hit me.
Batman Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. That's not bad.
In 1997? Yeah.
I could see it now.
Wow.
No,
That's a different kind of Batman.
like obviously he would be older and probably a little fatter, but I could see it like a sort of a Batman Beyond kind of situation where we have an old Bruce training a new guy, Terry.
Oh, so now we're gonna.
I know I'm immediately throwing things. I'm just saying that like I don't think Alec Baldwin is a bad pick at all.
Okay.
Now, granted, he's never really been a true action star.
He's got a couple in there.
Yeah,
He's got Hunt for Red October, and he's
Yeah.
got The Shadow.
Yeah, that's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I'm just saying, there's not really a lot there. And I don't know if I would describe him as the most physical actor that I would probably want for Bruce Wayne, but
For Batman, but for Bruce Wayne, I think he might.
Oh, sorry. For Bruce Wayne, I think he's perfect. I think he's maybe not perfect. Okay, I'll be overselling, but I think that's a good cast. For Batman, yeah.
We'll just CG the Batman.
Yeah. It was a different time. It was a different time. But I think Alec Baldwin's.
You don't hate it.
He's up there with Clooney anyway. Like if we already classed
Fair.
Clooney,
Fair
there's
enough.
like okay.
I don't hate it. Should we move on? Are you on any more Alec Baldwin?
I just want to make very clear, when I say he's up there with Clooney, I do not mean he is as good an actor as Clooney. I mean that like they are similar. Anyway, I'm not digging myself out of this hole.
Okay, so here becomes our first two problems. They're gonna cast a Tim Drake and a Dick Grayson,
Okay.
and they're casting nobodies.
Okay.
So we're gonna have to skip over them unless you have ideas in 1997 of who you would like as Tim Drake and Dick Grayson. We can come back to it.
Literally the first thing that came to mind was Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then I remembered that Joseph Gordon-Levitt was cast as like a weird Robin, not even Robin. So other than that, and this is my go-to anytime I want to cast anything in the 90s. Heath Ledger. But I think Heath's just incredible. So I could,
We'll just skip over it.
Yeah,
We'll skip
probably
over
a good call.
So Robin and so both Robins, Tim Drake and Dick Grayson, we're gonna skip over.
Okay.
Ready for Alfred?
Alfred. Okay, hit me.
Anthony Hopkins.
Oh yeah, that's killer. That's knock it out of the park. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's pretty spot on.
It's a little weird because he was probably in The Remains of the Day like 4 years before, where he literally plays like a proper English butler.
Yeah.
So like maybe a little too spot on, maybe a little too on the nose, but
too on the nose.
But
it was either gonna be him or Michael Caine. So
yeah, exactly. So and it couldn't be Michael Caine.
So
no,
zero issues.
Zero issues with Hopkins.
And not even like a thought of somebody else. That's pretty spot on.
I mean, you already have Michael Caine. Like that's really tough. No,
Okay.
I honestly think that all of the Alfred casting, all the years of Batman, has been incredible.
Awesome.
So
okay, all right, here we go. Commissioner Gordon.
Okay,
we're gonna look at John Mahoney from Frasier.
Definitely recognize
He's
the name.
Frasier's dad.
Can you show me a picture? Do you have a picture?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it, specifically.
I think he's not grizzled enough.
No, he could probably be like a bit more of a J.K. Simmons kind of, like...
Is that the Gordon?
Well, and so the problem is that J.K. Simmons is a perfect J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah.
So if we get him as Gordon in 97, we don't get him as Jameson, and then I grieve forever. So I'm not okay with that. Yeah.
Heath Ledger's Commissioner Gordon?
Yeah. Cast everyone as Heath Ledger. He could... Oh, my God. Why can't names come to me today? Maybe it's just because he reminds me of him in that picture. But the guy they cast, again, I can't think of names. I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry, everyone. The guy they cast as Q in the Pierce Brosnan.
John Cleese.
John Cleese.
As Gordon?
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As Alfred.
No, I could see it.
Yeah?
And again, it's a little more slapsticky for sure.
Sure.
But no, I could. And the thing is a lot of those movies, Gordon's not that massive a character, you know, like
Yeah.
he's in it for sure. You know, Dark Knight trilogy, we have a fair amount of Gordon, and obviously it can be John Cleese there, but you know, if we got Alec Baldwin as Batman, I don't hate John Cleese.
John Cleese, that's a stretch. I was thinking 97, if you were doing like hard-boiled crime stuff.
Is that what we're doing? No, do we
I don't
know
know.
that?
I don't- we
Because
don't know.
we've just finished Bat Nipples.
Maybe that's the turn you need to win it back.
Well, clearly it was in real life, but
Yeah.
I can't imagine we end that era and decide immediately that we want something grizzled.
I'd go there, and I think about Bruce Willis. In 97.
Like, this is rude to say because he's got like brain cancer or something. But as far as I'm concerned, Willis sucks.
I don't know. I think when I think of him in Sin City, it's not terrible.
It's definitely not terrible, but I think that's more of the result of the direction and the editing as opposed to his actual performance.
I mean, you're not wrong.
You know, so
I mean, I like earlier stuff, and even then he's got. I mean, Hudson Hawks. Okay.
Yeah,
You're right. I think he's better than John Cleese, though.
you could also do like Paul Newman.
Oh hell,
You know,
dude.
yeah, like he might be a little old at that point.
But then all I'd want would be like Gordon and Alfred doing buddy cop stuff.
Yeah,
like Anthony Hopkins and
dude.
Paul Newman just like
Let's
solving crimes.
do it. Yeah. That start of the movie. Alec Baldwin gets shot in Crime Alley instead. Perfect. Let's take it to the studio.
So I'm not gonna lie, they kind of crush it with the villains.
As they would.
They kind of crush it with the villains. I do. The Catwoman's a little out there,
Okay.
and I will say that 2 of these people are now suspect picks
Okay.
due to
Allegations.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Out of the gate, we're gonna do Willem Dafoe's Joker.
Oh yeah, no, that's perfect. No, that's a slam dunk. That's amazing.
That's I don't even know what
he's playing Joker when he does Green Goblin. So
Yeah, I think he's playing the Joker when he's sleeping. Like, I think
he
that's-
actually did a bit on that in an SNL opening as his opening monologue.
yeah,
So
I think
you know,
I think that's perfect.
it's probably too on the nose, especially now. Now that Joker's been overdone, like in this day and age. But in '97, that is slam dunk perfect.
That's perfect, right? Joe Pesci as the Penguin,
Oh yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Like again, probably too on the nose.
Too on the nose.
Yeah. What if they tried someone like Colin Farrell?
In '97.
That would be crazy. Yeah. Honestly, I don't love that, but it's just because it's too on the nose. Because it seems like a
Do we hate
cop-out.
that though?
I kind of do.
Do we hate too on the nose? Like, do we want something fresh?
I think that it's just that Joe Pesci they'll just be like, do the same thing you've done for 20 years.
but add "were" at the end of every sentence.
Yeah, so you sound like Waluigi. That's terrible. No,
Yo, can we get Joe Pesci as Waluigi?
And don't change his stature at all. Yeah.
Just make him gain 40 pounds.
No, I have a bit of a problem with it. And again, I think it's just because it's too on the nose.
And
I
you
think
don't-
it sounds too easy.
You got another replacement? You have an idea?
I don't.
No?
No,
Okay.
because again,
It's
once
perfect.
yeah, exactly. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, but so I don't think it adds enough. While Anthony Hopkins doing Gordon, there's or not Gordon, Alfred, thank you. There's an opportunity for him to do a little bit more with that role. Alec Baldwin doing Bruce, there's an opportunity
Sure.
to grow a little bit. While I think Joe Pesci's going to do exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
All right,
I don't
here
know.
we go. Ready for this?
Uh huh.
Mel Gibson as Harvey Dent, Two-Face.
Well, that's killer because he is Two-Face. You know, like it's wow, that couldn't have gone much better, frankly.
He'd also make a pretty good Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like it. I don't mind it. Like obviously Gibson is a huge dick. So, you know, but yeah, that would be not a stretch.
No, you're good with that one?
Yeah.
You got any ideas? Do you have any no replacements? You're cool with it?
I think I'm pretty cool with it. Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Hit me.
The Riddler. Kevin Spacey.
Okay. I see it. No, I don't. I honestly think that as much as it was ridiculous.
The Riddler's not a
pervert? Well, that's part of it. I didn't hate Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
Nope.
And I think that I think they not that they knocked it out of the park by any means, because he wasn't really who that character should be. So if we're talking, you know, a true proper adaptation of that character, it's not Jim Carrey. But I also think I have a hard time watching or thinking of Spacey doing it, knowing that, you know, we have John Cleese as Gordon. So we've got to be leaning into the hilarious side of it. And so no, honestly I don't even know, even in a grizzled, you know, like Dark Knight,
you don't think like him and Seven is like kind of mirrored that? But it is closer to the Paul Dano Riddler in that sense.
Who is what?
The Kevin Spacey, like.
No, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Okay.
I think partially because Seven, he's a little too subdued. And sure, he probably has the range for it. He could probably do something like that. But I just don't. First of all, I don't see him doing it and enjoying it. And yeah, I think there's a better option in there.
Okay.
I couldn't exactly tell you who it was,
okay.
but
you know. So, it's still a pretty good track record so far.
Okay.
All right. Poison Ivy, Julia Roberts.
Okay. That's tough.
This one sucks because I hate Julia Roberts.
I do not hate Julia Roberts. I think she is a good actress. I think the problem is that she is overused in the last 25 years. Or maybe not overused, but has been used a lot. So it's like it would be impossible for me to look at her as a character that is not Julia Roberts.
Okay.
While in 97, I might have been able to.
Okay. I see what you mean.
So I would allow it a little bit more. The other big red flag to me is that Poison Ivy is supposed to be
sexy.
Well, yeah, and like she's supposed to be a seducer, and I do not see Julia Roberts doing that in any capacity ever. So, like again, if we're leaning into it being hilarious, and then watching Julia Roberts try and seduce people, and then not doing it, and like being kind of like everyone's mom. You know, like that could be hilarious, but no, I don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't like that one, okay? Mr. Freeze, Patrick Stewart. Do people?
Is it just because he's bald?
Do people cast Mr. Freeze too old?
You know what
I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean for sure. I think the thing is Mr. Freeze could be a wide range of ages. You know, I wouldn't have too much of an issue with him being significantly younger.
I guess when I think of him like as a newlywed, as before his wife gets sick, I think as a man in his 30s, maybe his 40s.
Yeah.
Not Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, like, and again, if they wanted to be daring with it, I wouldn't mind if Mr. Freeze was like newlywed in what? Newlywed when he's 25.
Yeah.
You know, like, granted, he wouldn't be like a doctor.
But they can have a life together before that.
Absolutely. Like, there's a whole thing there. So I think that, I have an issue with Patrick Stewart. I also just think I have a hard time looking at that and thinking, oh, it wasn't because he was bald. You know, like, and you just cast Bruce Willis, the other bald guy, you know? Like, no, there's better options than that. I am so bad at casting
97.
people.
Fuck it, let's just do LA Confidential Russell Crowe as Mr. Freeze.
Oh. No, actually, if we're talking LA Confidential, I would rather it be Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce.
Yeah.
Guy Pearce is good.
Yeah, first of all, I think Guy Pearce is a better actor. And secondly...
Than in Russell Crowe?
Yes. Unequivocally.
That's a different conversation. That's a different podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like,
Guy
no
Pearce is
problem.
Commissioner Gordon.
Maybe. I would probably rather Russell Crowe as Commissioner Gordon then. Because I like the Mr. Freeze thing because Guy Pearce has basically always brought a intellectual vibe to his characters. And unfortunately, I think it's partially because he's just he's a little scrawny as a dude and he's just the way he's built.
Yeah.
You know, even when he's the most macho in Lockout, he's, he's ripped, but he's probably still not the biggest guy or the most intimidating guy on screen,
Yeah. I'm saying one of those guys is the best actor, has the best actor Academy Award, and it's not Guy Pearce.
Yeah, but it should be Guy Pearce. That guy's incredible.
He's great.
Incredible.
He's so good. All right, so maybe Guy Pearce as Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
We're going to go Scarecrow.
Okay, I think for the record that oh my god, why can't I think of names today? No, the casting in Dark Knight. I'm so
Cillian Murphy.
God.
It's perfect.
So I think Killian is perfect. I think he is absolutely what we wanted a Scarecrow, and I am going to have a hard time at not picturing him every single time for a casting.
Even if it's Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah, Cillian Murphy's better. Goldblum can be Riddler.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call.
Yeah.
He's not as wacky as he was in 97, though.
Sorry, the Riddler isn't, or
No,
Goldblum isn't?
He hasn't leaned into his internet fame yet.
In 97. Yeah, and I'm okay with that. Because I think that's part of the problem. Again, it depends on the Batman thing we're casting. If this is grizzled, I could see Goldblum doing a decent job of it. Yeah.
It's not bad, hey?
Yeah, it's not too terrible.
Yeah.
Given how out of date this is,
Pretty spot on.
they did a pretty good job.
This one I like a lot. Other than the idea that I wish, it's going to be Ra's al Ghul, but I wish they'd cast somebody ethnic here.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like they always end up casting Ra's with a white guy.
British. Yeah.
It's John Malkovich, which is great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I could see it.
But once again, I kind of wish.
I wish he was a little more jacked.
Or, I mean, he could get there.
Not that Liam Neeson was exactly. I don't think he was. But I think
he was also wearing like 40 turtlenecks.
But I think it's just the difference of build though too. Like John Malkovich strikes me as a very lanky guy.
Yeah.
And Ra's does not.
He'd make a hilarious Riddler.
Yeah. He's got a definite body type for it. No, I want someone that's a little more tanky for Ra's.
Probably Bruce Willis.
No, shut up, Bruce Willis. Get out of here.
Can you imagine Bruce Willis as fucking Ra's al Ghul?
Oh god, with Alec Baldwin as Batman. No, that's ridiculous.
I could hear the audience getting dumber.
Yeah. God. No, there's a better pick in there. I'm trying to think of some grizzled big guy, and no, it's not coming to me. Screw it, Tom Hanks.
I'd also, you know what? I'd also wouldn't mind seeing a Tom Hanks Riddler. I think he'd make a hilarious Riddler.
No, get out.
Oh yeah,
get out of here. Tom Hanks Riddler.
Isn't Woody just the Riddler without the riddles?
Woody's not nearly smart enough to be a Riddler.
No, of course not. He's got all the mannerisms. So there's one last thing.
Okay.
There's one last casting.
Okay.
And you don't know the guy, but he's a wrestler, and I just think that you'd enjoy his name.
Okay.
So for Killer Croc, I want Buff Bagwell. You don't have to say anything. You don't actually have to cast it. I just think that you'd enjoy the idea that somebody out there is named Buff Bagwell.
If we're
And his tagline is "Buff is the stuff."
It is in fact the stuff.
And you can never get enough. Is the finish of that.
Yeah, I think so. This brings up a lot of questions. As part of the problem is that, again, we have to talk about what kind of Batman it's supposed to be, like what the tone is.
Sure.
We have to talk about how some of these characters are going to be represented. So, like Killer Croc is a great example. How are they doing Croc? Because if he is actually a Croc and we're talking about a voice, okay, then I might do like Clancy Brown.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But if we're talking about someone has to physically do it, like whether it's a costume or they're going a completely different direction, and maybe he just like, I don't know.
It'd still be Clancy Brown.
Bites people. Yeah. I don't know if it would be Clancy Brown, though.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman's a great choice, yeah. Especially because he proved he can be in a costume like Hellboy, you know? So, actually, speaking of which, Doug Jones is the Riddler. Slam dunk. Whew. Again, we might have to figure out, depending on the situation, we might have to like determine tone here.
Sure.
Before we can really come to a consensus. But either way, that wasn't too bad. Like, definitely some of those picks strike me as people that know nothing about movies. They're like, this
Could you
guy...
imagine the payroll budget of these actors?
Oh. Well, and again, they wouldn't all be in one movie.
Let's do it.
No. I'm telling you. So, yeah, like, there'd be other things we'd have to figure out there. But again, it strikes me that, like, these guys saw or had heard that Hopkins played a butler in The Remains of the Day, and they were like, yeah, that's perfect. You know, and again, I don't mind the casting, but I also don't see it as like Pesci, again, is not an inspired casting choice.
Right.
That is...
It's not an inspired one, but it is like, it's the one.
Well,
it's
the
one you think you go to.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, I get
It's an easy route, for sure.
Yeah.
So... some of these things, I'm like, would they really interact well on set? I don't know. Would they be able to do that? You know? Right. And then the other side of it is that, like, they, some of the casting seems based around Batman. So, for instance, like, cast Alec Baldwin, and then it's like, well, Ra's is supposed to be older than him. Yeah. Or Mr. Freeze is supposed to be older than him. So, therefore, we need... an older guy, and so I think some of that they kind of look at his age, and then like, well, Poison Ivy is supposed to be sort of the same age, and these two would look nice together, and so maybe some of those casting decisions are just based off of like building off of Alec Baldwin Batman. I don't know, but again, it's not bad.
It's not terrible. It's one of the better ones.
Yeah, for 1997.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get to do a couple more of these where I'm going to really, really make you upset.
Yeah. Oh, well, I wasn't happy. Like... I don't know if I won, or is there winning in this game of fools?
It's you, so you're going to take the win regardless of what I say. So.
Yeah, absolutely I will. But, yeah, again... I'd definitely be open to doing more of this, considering that they didn't exactly screw that up.
Yeah. I think, again, the trouble, a lot of them is, I ran across like a Thor one.
A which?
A Thor movie.
Oh, okay.
And they just cast like bodybuilders from like weird Hercules and Conan shows.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that's not going to be at all doable.
No.
So the might run dry pretty quick here. I think we got some stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Fair enough. And like we always say, that's so wizard, Annie.